And this is a Fox News Alert. I'm Ashley Strohmeyer live from New York. Somber news from the Vatican, especially following Easter Sunday, with word of Pope Francis has died.
That's come from the Vatican. We just have that breaking news. Pope Francis has died. That's coming to us from the Vatican via the AFP news agency. We don't have any more details.
The Pope's passing comes one day after he met with Vice President J.D. Vance. So how does that visit square with the Pope's criticism of Trump's immigration policies, specifically deportations?
This morning, the world's 1.4 billion Catholics mourning the passing of Pope Francis. The Vatican announced that the Pope died. He died at 7:35 this morning, local time.
For over 2,000 years, the death of a pope has been a moment of global reflection, a convergence of faith, tradition, and history. Today, we witness the final chapter of a man who reshaped the papacy in profound ways. This is the story of Pope Francis's funeral, a journey mapped through history, faith, and across the streets of Rome, as seen through the lens of Google Earth. The funeral of a pope is not just a religious ritual, it's a state event, a centuries-old tradition shaped by the rise and fall of empires and the shifting tides of Catholicism across the world. From medieval processions that wound through the streets of Rome to modern ceremonies, watched by millions worldwide, the funeral of the Supreme Pontiff marks both an ending and the beginning of an interregnum, the sede vacante, the empty throne. Normally, the funeral follows strict protocols: the sealing of the Pope's body in 3 coffins, the breaking of the fisherman's ring, the solemn Novemdiales mourning period. Yet Pope Francis, in his humility, requested something different, simpler, stripped of grandeur, yet still deeply symbolic. Born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Buenos Aires in 1936, Francis was the son of Italian immigrants. As a young man, he trained as a chemist before joining the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits, a Catholic order known for education, scholarship, and missionary work. His path to the papacy was unconventional, marked by humility, a deep commitment to the poor, and a passion for social justice. In 2013, he became the first Jesuit pope, the first pope from the Americas, and the first to choose the name Francis, honoring Saint Francis of Assisi, a saint devoted to peace and poverty. Over his decade-long papacy, Francis pushed the Church towards compassion, transparency, and global dialogue, leaving a legacy as one of the most transformative leaders in modern Catholic history. On the morning of the funeral, archbishops and bishops began gathering at 8:30 local time inside the Constantine Wing, a grand corridor adjacent to the awe-inspiring St. Peter's Basilica. At the same time, Catholic priests assembled in the vastness of St. Peter's Square, while Orthodox patriarchs and Catholic cardinals gathered in the Saint Sebastian Chapel, a sacred space housing the tomb of St. John Paul II. The procession began at 9 a.m., moving solemnly toward the open square where Pope Francis's simple wooden coffin, resting in the Basilica for 4 days, would be carried to its final Mass. At 10 o'clock, under the gaze of thousands, the funeral service commenced, led by Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, the Dean of the College of Cardinals. World leaders, royalty, and hundreds of thousands of mourners filled every inch of the square and surrounding streets, echoing the scale of funerals past, but honoring Francis's wish for humility. From all corners of the world, dignitaries made their way to Vatican City. Prince William, representing King Charles III, continued a royal tradition started by his father in 2005. Presidents Emmanuel Macron of France, Donald Trump of the United States, Spain's King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, and Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva all stood shoulder to shoulder with ordinary citizens, honoring the humble Argentine Pope. Bishops, cardinals, and priests each wore distinct garments of solemnity. Bishops donned white albs and red chasubles, crowned with simple mitres. Cardinals, by contrast, wore damask-patterned mitres, a subtle cream-hued mark of seniority. Priests wore humble red stoles over their albs, while Orthodox patriarchs appeared in their richly embroidered sackos and omophorians, a tapestry of traditions from East and West united in grief. After the final commendation and prayers, the coffin began its journey. Crossing the Tiber River, passing the mighty Colosseum, once the site of Christian martyrdom, Francis's funeral procession wound its way through the eternal city. He chose not the grandeur of Vatican burial, but the sacred simplicity of Santa Maria Maggiore, a place dear to his heart. Here, under the ancient Byzantine icon of the Virgin Mary, Salus Populi Romani, the shepherd found his final resting place. Throughout his ministry, Francis prayed here before and after every apostolic journey. In his will, he called Santa Maria Maggiore a sanctuary of peace, gratitude, and maternal care. He asked for no ornate tomb, just a simple grave, inscribed only with one word, Franciscus, the Latin name he chose in humility and service. The funeral of Pope Francis closes a remarkable chapter in the history of the Catholic Church, not with pomp and splendor, but with simplicity, humanity, and hope. A visual journey that reminds us, greatness often walks quietly among us.
Within the Basilica, the Cardinal College gathered for Mass. Still in grief, theirs was a mission, to elect a man to follow. In the square, the crowds had received the signal they were waiting for, and from all over Rome they gathered to witness a single puff of white smoke. A puff of smoke that told the world the election was over.